You're definitely going to love this one. The left keeps going on and on about how Donald Trump took this massive L when the U.S. Court of Appeals ruled on March 28th to put a temporary stop on deportation flights. Notice who all the original order names: President, DHS, Attorney General, ICE, and the State Department. What's more important is who it doesn't name. It turns out you can't stop the champ. Welcome to the doghouse. So check this out. On April 10, 2025, a federal court in Massachusetts ordered Trump's Department of Homeland Security to respond to the plaintiffs, which is literally the terrorists, or on behalf of them anyway, to respond to allegations regarding compliance with the TRO, and of course that's Temporary Restraining Order, in which the Department of Homeland Security was named and told you can't send out any more deportation flights at least until the TRO expires. This order is basically telling the Trump administration to give your side of the story about these 6 illegal aliens, but also notice that the plaintiffs are similarly situated, which means if there are any more that you have, tell us about those too. And explain yourself. How exactly did you not violate the TRO when deportation flights are still going out? Now remember when Trump said he always complies with federal orders no matter how trivial they are until he can appeal them, but before, during, and after this TRO was given, deportation flights are still flying. Flights were going to Guantanamo and El Salvador and so on. Now at face value, you would think obviously Trump violated this TRO, right? Wrong, because they did exactly as they were asked in this order, and they gave their explanation to the Massachusetts federal court, and the response is nothing short of hilarious. In the defendant's response to the Massachusetts federal court, remember that the defendant is the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. That's very important. The first page is basically saying, we got your request for information regarding the 6 aliens as well as those similarly situated. Don't worry, we got you. Now these names are going to be redacted for obvious safety reasons, but a convicted domestic abuser was removed to Mexico on March 28, 2025, 8:10 a.m. before the court issued its TRO. So this one's before the order was issued. He also affirmed he was not afraid of returning to Mexico, blah blah. So that was before the TRO, easy enough. So the next one. An admitted human smuggler was removed to Mexico on March 25 before the court issued TRO. Next, a registered offender was removed to El Salvador on March 31 by the Department of Defense on a flight with no DHS personnel on board, and DHS did not direct the DOD to remove them. The Department of Defense is not a defendant in this action. Alright, so I'm just going to pause right there and break it down for you. Trump was told not to send any deportation flights with DHS, but the original order didn't mention anything at all about the DOD, the Department of Defense. Also notice in the same order by a Massachusetts court, DHS was named as a defendant, so Trump just switched up on them. DHS, you're out. DOD, you're in. Fire up those planes. He, in fact, did not violate the TRO because Trump wins again.
You like magic, Luke? Sleight of hand. See, while you're looking over here, something's really happening over here.
So they just go down the list. DHS did not direct the Department of Defense to remove this person. DOD is not a defendant in this action. Numbers 5 and 6, same thing. Can't touch the DOD on this one. Now, if you'd like to file a new injunction or say 10, you'll have to also include the DOD. I would go even a step further and say you'll have to include the FBI or DEA or just about anybody with a plane because resources. So to add insult to injury, they just start going down the list. Number 12, DOD. Number 18, DOD. Number 27, DOD. Number 51, DOD. And the cherry on top, at the very end, accordingly, based on the attached declaration, DHS did not violate the court's temporary restraining order. You cannot make this stuff up. You gotta stop messing with the champ. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's playing 3D chess and you're out there playing hangman. You're just throwing out some carefully thought out letters and hoping you don't get hung out to dry. Guys, this video took a lot of digging. I'm exhausted. If you don't mind, hit like, maybe repost, and have a wonderful day. Because liberal, if you like what I do, please leave a like. They really help. Consider subscribing and I'll see you next time.
This young man outsmarted the kidnappers. Knowing they were planning to throw his friend into the trunk, he didn't waste time fighting them. Instead, he jumped into the driver's seat and sped off, with his friend still inside the car.